Hi everyone. Say hi to Jackson, who, by the way, is feeling much, much better. So I guess we will start with an update on him. It's been a while since we've talked, but if you follow me, then you've seen he's kind of had a little bit of a battle recently. He was diagnosed with a slipped disc in his back, and his legs gave out from underneath him. They just kind of literally just swayed. His front legs did all the work. We put him on medications and rest, which really is just medication because one of the meds made him feel a whole lot better, and he just won't lay down. He just thinks he's super dog, which he is. So, but in the last 5 weeks now, he's become a lot better, and he is walking around with almost no sign of anything wrong with him. So I just gotta sit here and thank God for that, because I've prayed and prayed and prayed, and I want to thank all of you who've been praying for him. He's knocked out right now, but that's normal for him. It's not. He follows after mom. But he is feeling much better, even though he's not supposed to be jumping around. It's kind of hard to keep him down, so he is doing that like he did before normally. But I am trying my very, very best to keep him from doing that. But he kind of does what he wants, whether I try to stop him or not. So, short of putting a shock collar on him, this is where we're at. So again, thank you all for taking the time to say a prayer for him. He is my little baby. He's everything that I have. So I'm really, really happy to see how well he's doing. Power of prayer, people. Power of prayer. All right. I have been feeling a whole lot of godly moments recently. Yesterday, most specifically, I've had a question that's really been weighing on me, a situation, and I won't go into it, but or too much anyway. I just had something that was really, really weighing on me, and didn't know how to answer it, didn't know how to act on it. Yeah. And he's been speaking to me a lot today to put it out there, just to say this message, to give the message out there, to those who need to hear it, whoever you may be, wherever you are, wherever you are in life, in your walk with him, just wherever you are that needs to hear this. Yesterday, I walked into church just as a normal thing that I do. Nothing really different from any other day, other than, like I said, I've had kind of a situation that I've been, trying to figure out how to handle. But I was there about 45 minutes early, I think. Yeah, it was. And so I just sat in the worship center, and I just sat there, and I just thought to myself, I want to be changed when I walk into that room. I want to be changed when I walk into his presence. I should never leave church the same way I went in. Never. Never. You just shouldn't. And if you do, it may be because, you're not really giving your whole self to him during that moment. And if that's the case, I would urge you to really let everything down, let everything out, do what you got to do to just make it you and him. Because the change is absolutely remarkable. But for the most part, it was more along the lines of, I don't want to leave here going out and contradicting everything I've just learned. Everything that I've devoted my life to living like, I should not only do that here. I need to be doing it out there. And that's not to say you're perfect and everything you do is always going to be right, but where's your intention? what are you really doing in your walk with him? Are you glorifying him? Are you showing other people who he really is, or are you not? Um, and while I was there, the the pastor was talking about a new pastor that's going to be coming in addition to the church, and how, they thought things just weren't going to work out, and they had hired on another pastor, and days before they were going to have him come, things just started to be really weird. People were having different dreams. People were having bad feelings, just like, I don't think this is the right fit. You need someone else. And sure enough, the way things worked out, the original person they wanted to have come ended up coming. And the whole point to that is that sometimes we think that things just kind of happen, that people are psychic, or they have an intuition, or, sixth sense, and so on and whatnot, when really it's just God trying to talk to you. And if you're not really aware of the fact that this is how he does things, you'll miss it. And thankfully, I have been able to have someone in Grandma who taught me that a long time ago. Now, I did not understand a long time ago. I wish I would have, because things would have made a lot more sense to me. But I do now. And I've heard so many things from him, and I've gotten so many messages, and so many questions have been answered, prayers, and just things about life that, had I not been able to allow myself to understand that in these moments it's him talking to me, I would have been a nervous wreck. I would have just been, totally out of place, like I had been most of my life before. And again, like I said, yesterday was just another one of those moments. And the situation is basically where I have to do what I think would benefit a situation versus maybe what God would see as beneficial, and them being very different. Something that seems harmless, something that seems like it wouldn't matter at all, but in the back of your mind, you're like, I don't know if that would be God honoring. I don't know how that affects not just the person or the situation, but myself and God. And you really have to pray on it. Those are those moments where you just have to sit back and think, I need you. I don't know the answer to this. I can't seem to find the answer to this. I just don't know what it is. I need some guidance, and be open to that guidance. Don't sit and listen for things that you're waiting to hear, what you want to hear. Because 9 times out of 10, that's not the answer you're going to get. So you might find one close, but it usually is not what you're hoping it would be. And that was the answer I got. It was what I thought it was. It's the feeling I had originally. And I basically just needed some sort of a confirmation to say, you're right, you're not supposed to do this. Or you are, or whatever the case is. In my case, it's a no. It's no. But that's okay. That doesn't stop the hard part of the situation. That part comes next, but at least going into it, I know that I'm doing it for the right reason. So with that being said, it was a teaching day. Not that every day in church isn't a teaching day, or every day in general, but it was a lesson that I really needed to understand. And I'm so grateful for those moments, because you don't really realize how much of an impact it is on you in that moment. So, and just in your life and how you move forward and how you're going to affect others. And the message I left with was just, you know, I started my walk with God when I was a child. I mean, I was, it was instilled in me as a young one. And I never didn't believe. But my own personal walk that I really understood happened a little over 2 years ago. And I've said it before, it's in that lowest moment that you have, or that you feel you have, where you really find yourself calling out for him, where you really find yourself understanding just who and what he is. And I've had a hard life. It's it was not easy at all. But thankfully, I had the most amazing woman beside me, to make sure that I made it through all right. And I did. And it's something that, most people would be like, nobody should have to live that way. You shouldn't have to, go through this, and how horrific and whatnot. But you know what? I know so much about God because of it. Not that he put me in the situation, not that, it had anything to do with him, on why I was, but maybe it did, maybe it didn't. Maybe there wasn't some of him. Who knows? I don't. But I do know that he got me through it all. And I do know that I understand exactly how amazing and merciful he is because of it. I understand so much more about life now. I appreciate so many more things because of where I was. Some of us put ourselves in situations, and some of us just end up being the product of the situation that we're in because of others. And it's how you make it out that determines, what you want your life to be and who you want to be. I chose God. I chose him 100% of the way. And he's done fantastic things in my life. Things that all seem like they were just, the worst of the worst, and have led me to things I can't begin to thank him for. But that's not why I chose him. I didn't choose him because I want to go to heaven. That's not a reason to choose a relationship with Jesus. That's not why you do it. You don't choose him because you think you're supposed to. You don't choose him because it just seems like it makes the most sense. You don't choose him because, a significant other or a family member or a friend, because they do. You choose him because you know in your heart there's nothing else that you want. That this transformation happens inside of you before it ever happens on the outside. If any of you have ever had that feeling, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And it's something that when I was a child, or when I was younger, I always said, you don't have to be baptized. The thief on the cross next to Jesus wasn't baptized, and he made it to heaven. And I thought that was okay. And I'm sure in dire circumstances, that's between the person and God. But I will tell you that his baptism happened. You just don't see it. His baptism happened in here. That's where it happens. That's where your confirmation, your choice, your decision to be his and only his happens. There might be a lot of you out there who are really thinking about, your life and where you've been and where you're going and where you are, more importantly. Um, and you're kind of lost. And maybe some of you don't think you're lost at all. Maybe some of you think you know it all and you're good to go and whatnot. But I would encourage you to sit down and ask yourself, how many times a day do I actually sit and talk to him? And then how many times a day do I actually talk to him where I have the intention of listening and allowing him in? Because those are very different things, my friends. Very different things. I talked to him all the time before. And I'm sure he answered, but I didn't listen. I was listening for what I wanted to hear. I was in really bad situations with family where I just couldn't deal with it. And I look back now and I can see where he was answering me, and I just didn't want to hear it because of how I was feeling. I can tell you that in the moments of anger, in the moments of pain, in the moments of hurt, in the moments of being able to, not being able to control your emotions, are the moments where you need him most, and you shun him away. Absolutely. I wish I would have known better at a certain point in time. I wish that I would have been able to understand what Grandma was telling me versus what I thought she was teaching me. I'm very much about being my own person and nobody telling me one way or the other of what to do, how to live, how to be, and who to be. Except for when it came to Grandma. I would listen to her 100%, but I was still my own person and I still thought that I knew better. Never really realizing that everything she was telling me was coming straight from the book that knew everything I needed to know. And I'm one of those that have to learn things on my own. I got to go through it myself. I try not to, especially now, but sometimes it happens. But you need to know that these things that you think when you think you know God and you think you know the stories of the Bible and you think that you know what the Bible says and you've read it and you hear it, or you've heard other people talk about it, or you know a random verse or the one everybody knows, or that you're good, and by doing good things that you're good. And that's not the case. I wish it were. Trust me, I wish it were, because life would be so much easier if it was that way. But it isn't. Nothing worth having is worth getting it for free. You get what you pay for. And what I mean by that is I gave my life. I gave my life to the one who transformed my heart. There is nothing that I have ever felt that has been better than that feeling. And I get to feel it every day. Some days it's magnified, which is hard to even explain because it's inexplainable. And I just know that the life I live is to honor him daily. Every second of every moment. With every mistake I make. With every word I speak. That it's only to honor him. That it's only to show others who he is, not just in my life, but who he can be in everyone's life. And I'm here to tell you, friends, that time is getting very, very short. in order for you to allow him to make that transformation in your heart. If you don't think you can feel him every day, you've got some searching to do. You've got some real, like, I mean, you need to court him. He'll come running to you. He's there with open arms. His door is always open. But my point to you is that for any relationship that you would go into, for any woman's heart, any man's heart that you're after, you need to be after his the same way. And more, but take that in as what he's looking for. He just wants you. He just wants all of you. Every last bit of every mistake you've ever made, every mistake you're going to do, every hardship you're going to have, he wants you to come to him with it. He knows that you have them. There's no reason to hide from it. He knows. He watches us every day. He sees everything. He knows what's going to happen before it happens. It's you who makes the choice. And he's hoping that at some point you're going to make the choice to come home to him. And that's all he wants for you. It's all he wants for any of us, to come into his arms. I would suggest that you get into your Bibles. Like I've said before, you just open them. Just open them wherever it is. Just flip it open and just start reading. He wants to talk to you. That's another way that he communicates with you. Be open to what he's saying and open about what your life is about at the moment, and you're going to get answers that you're looking for. A baptism, a transformation, a dedication to him is not something to wait on. It's something that, again, it's when it happens in your heart, it just happens. There is no date, time, and expectancy. It is what it is, and you have to have that in order to see him when the time comes. And his time is coming, and it's not in a few years. It's not in 20 years. It's not in 100 years. He's coming, and it will be this generation. It will be soon, and it will be in the blink of an eye without you having any chance of rectifying something you should have done a long time ago. So I'm going to cut these short because I want you just to understand that message and know that that's something that he's been asking me over and over and over again to get out here. So I tried to write it. It didn't sound right. I tried to put it on a post. None of it sounded right. So here it is. And I urge you guys again to get in your Bibles, to take a moment, to take that weekend to get into church and really see what he's doing in the lives of people in this nation, in this world today, because he is coming back for us, and he's coming soon. So for all of those of you out there who are on the fence, who have been just really trying to find an answer, who are questioning, who think that they're where they're supposed to be, or who are unsure where they're supposed to be, I call on you today. And I pray that you allow Jesus into your heart, that you open it fully, that you let all the walls down, that he is placed first and foremost in your life, before anyone else, before your children, before your family, before your significant other, before your job, before any situation that you have, because with him first, everything else falls right into place. Your family, your job, your financial situation, your emotional stability, or just everything just falls right into place. With him in your life, he's got his love, his blood has covered all of you. It's anything and everything that has to do with you. He's going to take you to the places that he knows that you need to be, that are going to be right for your life, for your family, for your eternal future. If you don't believe me, just follow me. You'll see. You will see. I'm very, very open about the struggles I've gone through, the struggles I go through on a daily basis, and how he has just, I mean, picked up the pieces and put them in a completely different picture. One that I never imagined I could be a part of. This being one of it, so I pray that he touches your life today and every day, in any and every struggle that you have, in every accomplishment that you have. We should give him praise and know that no matter where you are in that moment, in the moments to come, that he's guiding you. And as long as you allow him to guide you, he's going to lead you to victory every single time. All right. That's it today. So if you guys have any questions, if you have any concerns, prayers you need, whatever the case is, you can always message me, leave a comment, you can email me, you can do whatever you like. And I will get those out for you. And again, one last time, I have to thank you all for praying for my little baby over here, because he's been one miracle I've been able to watch happen, and it's just perfect. It's just perfect. So a life-saving surgery has been averted. That's pretty amazing to me. So, all right, guys, have a great Sunday. And, go out and, like I said, take your life out there. You don't believe me? Test him. He will take care of you 100%. And then when he does, I want to hear about it. All right, guys, I will see you later. Don't forget to pray.